thought I would do a video here about prepping for winter on a commercial truck and some things, some tips and tricks that you may or may not know, and some stuff that I have learned from all the years, some stuff that I've learned from my wife living in Colorado for so long. One of the first things that my wife taught me is never, never, never go out on a trip without any food in your truck. You never know when you're going to get into a backup, into congestion, the roads get shut down, truck stops get piled up, uh, people can't get into work to work at the truck stops, and you could be stranded for 2 or 3 days in a truck. What are you going to eat? So I carry water in my truck. I also have other drinks that I carry in my truck, and I carry food, dry food, canned food, stuff that doesn't spoil within a week or two. And I always have my refrigerator full of food whenever I leave out. That's just constant, but that's a good idea to do in the wintertime too. I have a refrigerator in my truck and I have a microwave in my truck. Um, that's a big thing because a lot of people will get out and get stranded sometimes and have no food and have no way of obtaining food. And you don't want to be in that position. So that's a key, a big main key here. Another thing that I have learned personally from being on a truck is always carry paper towels and Windex. You can see my window here. I cleaned it earlier tonight at a rest area and I didn't do a very good job. This is the brine that is on your windows. I can't tell you how many times I have pulled into a truck stop to wash the windows, the outside windows of my truck, and the squeegee is froze in the bucket, or they just don't put any cleaner out because they know it's going to freeze. So you've got all of this white all over your window. And like I said, I did this at a rest area. It looks really bad on the camera, but if you were here looking at it, it really looks clear. It's just a reflection from the light outside that makes it look this way. But it's very clear, actually. And another round of cleaning on it will clear that up really good. Here's I keep it in my door. Here's what I carry with me. It's just a generic glass cleaner. I get this from the Dollar Tree, and it's only $1. And it's never froze on me before. When I'm cleaning the window, it foams up, and it's never froze. I've not tried to make it freeze, to spray it on something and just leave it to see if it would freeze, but just spraying it on and wiping it off, it's never froze. And this is a metal can, so it could roll around in your truck, or you could throw it just in a cabinet or wherever. My advice is never carry those Windex spray bottles, those plastic ones with the blue Windex in it. I used to do that years ago, and I cannot tell you how many times that I've went to go get that and it's got a hole in it or something has crushed it, and all of that Windex has leaked out into the truck. This is a really solid can. I'm squeezing it really hard and hitting it with some force, and it's not even putting a dent in it. So, I just shove it in my door panel here, and it's right there whenever I need it. And, if your windows get all that brine on it and you can't see, your mirrors get the brine on it, you can't see out of those, pull over at a rest area, hit an off ramp, something, to get out of traffic, and, within 5 or 10 minutes, you can see plain and clear, and you're off on the road. But remember, that's just my suggestion. If you've got a place to put that liquid bottle of Windex, you could put it up somewhere. But I don't have good luck with those. I've always broke them. You throw them in your side box, they'll hit something and break. They'll all leak out. Get the metal can. It's only $1 at the Dollar Tree. Heck, you can buy 3 or 4 cans and shove it in your side box and have, spares for later. Carry paper towels or some type of cleaning wipe in your truck. There you go. Another trick that I have learned, maybe some people know about this, some don't. How many times have you been driving down the road, you hit your washer fluid button on your truck and nothing comes out? It's froze, right? A lot of this washer fluid is made really cheap. It's basically blue colored water, and it freezes, like a snap of a finger. Very easily froze. An old trick that a truck driver told me 25 years ago. It's super, super cheap, and it works really good. Go get a bottle of 91% rubbing alcohol. Like you put on a wound or something, or a cleaning alcohol. Get the 91%. Most of it that you find in stores is 70%. That works too, but the 91 works better. And if you can, remove the water out of your windshield washer container, dump it out, put the 91% alcohol in there, mix it up, and then put it back in your container. If you can't take it out, you don't know how or whatever, it's very easy. All you have to do is, there'll be a plug on it, and that is your washer pump, and it's usually towards the bottom somewhere, maybe up underneath it or something. You just grab it. It'll have an electrical connection on it. You just grab the entire thing and pull it out, and all of your washer fluid will leak out on the ground if you don't have a container to catch it. But if you don't want to do that, or you can't do it, or if it's company truck and you're worried about it or something, try to find something to pull a little bit of the washer fluid out anyway. Get a tube or something to put in there, put your thumb on it and pull it out. Pull some of the fluid out, or wait until, it's down fairly low, if you can, and put the 91% alcohol in there, and then put the washer fluid in it so it will mix better. And that stuff doesn't freeze. I mean, it will, but it has to be. I was looking on the internet earlier, and I think it said 70% freezes at like negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and the 91 freezes at negative 110 or something. You're not going to be in weather like that. So, 0-degree weather, 30-degree weather, even negative 20, stuff like that is very normal in the wintertime. And that's not going to freeze your washer fluid. So put the alcohol in there and you have water. So to clean your windshield, get the brine off of it. Another trick that I have found. Now, this one, I want to say a lot of caution about this, because I don't want to see you burn your truck down. Be extremely, extremely cautious when you do this. But you can make an emergency heater out of that 91% alcohol as well. Get a metal coffee can and a roll of toilet paper, put it in the coffee can, pour the 91% alcohol on there, and you can light it. Now, you may say, well, that'll blow up or explode in my truck. It's not, the flash point on it is not that great. It will just burn like a blue flame out of it. And it's not crazy heat. I mean, it's, I think they call it a flash point. It's a low flash point. It's a low, slow burn. And this is only in emergency situations. That's why I want to really stress this. If your truck is broke down on the side of the road and it's negative 20 out, and the nearest tow truck or the nearest repair shop is 100 miles away and they're not going to be there for hours, and you're at the risk of freezing to death. Now, that's all I'm talking about with this. I'm not talking a daily usage thing, but you've got to think, if you do this, that coffee can is going to get hot. Even on the bottom, it will probably get hot. So if you just stick it on the rubber floor, it will burn your rubber floor. You know, you need to be very cautious doing that. Maybe a smaller amount, a smaller container. Close your curtains, and use a smaller container of it instead of the big coffee can and a huge roll of toilet paper. Maybe you can, do something, this size. There's also, I don't remember the exact name of it, but it's a lot of people call them canned heat. It's just a little burner that you can get. Those are very, very safe. Maybe not for in the truck use, but it's a basic same concept. You have a little container of alcohol or fuel, and you light it, and it's for keeping food hot at a buffet table. And you can buy those, just about any food service store. You can order them online. I think they're called canned heat. And it's just a little flame that comes up, but you would be amazed how much heat will come out of that. So that's another good thing you can carry on the truck for emergency use only. That's not a daily use thing. That's only for emergency use, in case, like I said, you're broke down, it's negative 20, and service center is 100 miles away and they have no idea when they'll get to you. It's better to do something like that than to freeze to death in your truck. So, it's a good thing to be prepared with something like that. Hot hand warmers. I don't know if you guys have seen those or not, but they're little plastic packets. I think you break them or crush them up and activate some chemical in it. You can stick them in your gloves. You can stick them in your socks. You can put them in your jacket pockets. Zip your jacket up. They're totally safe, and those will keep you warm. It's a good thing to carry, buy a bulk of them on Amazon or something, or eBay, or whatever your choice is. Buy a bulk of them and keep in your cabinets. And that would be a thing in an emergency use situation. Or, some people just like to use them daily. They'll just stick them in their gloves, on the top of your hand on your gloves, and they'll keep your hands warm if you're outside, working or whatever. That's a good thing to keep on your truck to keep you warm. Another thing is clothing. A lot of people don't think about clothing. When my wife and I One time we were up in Menominee, Wisconsin. I think it was negative 30 up there, and we were in an old 379 Pete. The heat just basically didn't work in it, and we would close the curtain and turn the heat. We noticed that if you turned it on low, it had better heat than when you turned it on high. So we turned it on low. We had a couple of blankets and we slept in our clothes because it was just so cold. And that was some experiences. So, clothing. A lot of people don't think about this. It is best to wear layers in the wintertime. Have what a lot of people call a thermal shirt or thermal pants or a base layer. I've noticed a lot of people call them base layers now instead of thermals. Back in the old days, people would call them thermals, and now it's you got to be cool and call it a base layer. But you wear that under your clothes and layer everything. My wife would wear yoga pants, and then she would wear insulated or lined yoga pants on top of that. And sometimes she would even wear a pair of jeans over that. So she'd have 3 pairs of pants on and a couple of pairs of socks. And I would do the same. I would wear a base layer pants and then put my jeans on over that. Sometimes wear 2 pairs of socks and then wear 2 or 3 shirts and a jacket on top of that. You can always remove layers, instead of wearing one really thick layer is better. But you don't want to sweat. That's a key thing right there. Is you don't want to get yourself to where you're sweating, because sweating will lower your body temperature. Obviously, that's why you sweat, is to lower your body temperature. But in case that cold air hits that sweat, it could freeze instantly, and you don't want that, especially on your hands and your feet, because they're more vulnerable than the rest of your body. So you don't want your hands and feet sweating at all. I wrote notes down. That's why I'm looking down. When you get really cold, your body naturally brings your heat to your core, to your center. I've seen a lot of people that will wear a vest, the jacket vest with no sleeves on it. It's just an insulated vest. It's really defeating the purpose. In my mind, it's defeating the purpose to wear that vest. Now, if you're wearing 2 or 3 shirts, but you still want to be able to move your arm and you don't want a big heavy jacket, maybe I could see you wearing a vest. But that's not good for extreme cold temperatures. The vest is not good for that. And really, all you're doing is keeping your core warm and your extremities, your arms, your hands, your feet. Not that you wear a vest on your feet, but I'm just saying your extremities are still out there to the elements. So I've never owned a vest, insulated vest. I've never had one, and I've really never seen the point in wearing one. That's just me. But I do see people wearing them, especially men, and I think, isn't that just defeating the purpose? You're just keeping your core warm. That's where all your heat is going to be anyway. But a lot of your heat does come out of the top of your head. Heat has a tendency to rise. So losing the heat out of the top of your head is a common thing. Here's something my father-in-law just bought me. It is just a thin fleece. I guess you'd call it a ski mask or something. It's got a part for your mouth, you know, to cover your mouth and your nose right here. If you don't want to wear that, you just tuck it down in there, and then you have an opening. It's got a drawstring on it. It's a really neat little thing. I don't know how much you paid for it, but I appreciate it. You know, that would really keep you warm. It's like having a hood on a jacket. Here's something that I personally like. Another thing I don't like is hoodies. You know, a sweatshirt with a built-in hood, because I get hot and cold really quickly. I've noticed the older I get hot and cold really quick, and I can't take one of those hoodies off very quickly. So what I like is more of a zip-up hoodie, and that's what my thin jacket is that I wear daily. It's basically a hoodie, and but it's got a zipper on it. I don't know how well you can see that, but it does have a hood, and it's a zipper. And I usually wear it just open. You know, I don't zip it up. I just wear it like a second shirt. This one is not lined. It's just, thin material that's not lined. And if I was in really cold weather, I would wear my shirt, that hoodie, I guess you could call it, whatever, a zip up hoodie. I wear that, and I have my thick insulated coat, and I've had this one probably 15 years. I've carried this on the truck with me so many. I mean, this thing has been on the truck with me about as long as I've been on the truck, and extremely warm jacket. I mean, that is really, really warm jacket, especially if I wear my other jacket under that one. It's like almost no cold gets in. And then you could wear this, this hooded mask thing too, and I'd be prepared for, negative 20-degree weather then. Something else that I just bought actually this weekend is these insulated, uh, I guess they're silicone gloves. These have a fleece lining in them, so they're not, just a thin glove. But they're actually very comfortable, and you can move, and they're made for cold weather. So you have the rubber silicone material, plus you have this knit material, plus you have the fleece lining. It would take a lot to get your hands cold wearing this. So I'm going to keep those in the truck for sure in case I have to work outside. I've got a thin pair that's almost identical that I use for fuel gloves, but these are not lined. These are just, a stretchy material, and they're fairly warm, but they're not near as warm as the red ones. The red ones, there's no cold gets in those whatsoever. And they're very flexible. They're easy to take on and off, and that's what I like. I don't like something that's really hard or stiff or hard to put on and take off, because I struggle with that, having to go from hot to cold a lot. Another thing that a lot of people don't think about is it may not be below freezing, but you have to get out and work around your truck, or connect and disconnect your trailer and stuff like that. A lot of times there'll be ice, and you'll be standing on the ice, and it breaks, and you fall through the ice maybe, just this much. It's not, extremely thick material here we're talking about, just a puddle or something, and then your shoes are completely drenched and it goes into your socks, you don't want to wear cloth shoes in the wintertime. A lot of people up north will that live up north already know this because it's happened to them before. I wear these normally in the wintertime. These are just Skechers leather shoes, but they're waterproof, and they're not very insulated. They're really thin. It's just a leather material with cloth on the inside. But these are waterproof. These are my daily shoes that I wear, and they are waterproof. I have tested them out many times by accident, and they are definitely waterproof. Another thing that you can think about if you want to step up, if your feet still stay cold, is you, like I've said previously, you can wear 2 pairs of socks, or you can get an insulated, weatherproof, waterproof shoe. These are also Skechers, and I haven't wore these very much. They're a couple of years old, but I don't wear them that much, and they do have a tag on them that says, I don't know if I can even focus in on that, but it says waterproof right there on the tag. And I have tested these out. They are definitely waterproof as well. So think about that. If you're getting in and out of the truck and you're in cold, wet weather, or like with me, we do a lot of building materials deliveries, and the places we go to are a lot of gravel lots, dirt lots. There's a lot of dips, potholes, and stuff out there. And it seems like every time I get out of the truck, there is ice or water right there by my door. And I don't worry about it because I wear waterproof shoes. I'm not going to get my feet wet. So I don't have that to worry about. But always remember about not getting too insulated to where your feet start sweating, because even in that situation, if your feet gets extremely cold and goes numb, you don't know, when frostbite will happen. So protect yourself on that. It's a good thing to carry 2 pairs of shoes like me. I brought those hiking boots, I guess you call them, or winter boots, on the truck with me this week. I haven't had them on the truck before this winter, but I'm definitely wearing them this weekend because my trip this week, I'm in Nebraska, and I'm going to South Dakota, and I'm going to Michigan, and I figure it's going to be cold, very cold. And if I'm getting in and out of the truck and everything, I don't want to risk wearing my thin shoes. I want to wear, an insulated waterproof boot. So I've got 2 pairs with me this week. 2 pairs of gloves, 2 jackets, two pairs of shoes, and the clothes that I've got in the back. I'm prepared. Plus the food I've got. My heater works. My APU works. I'm good. And I'm ready for what old man winter throws at me. Just a little bit of advice, a little bit to help you guys out. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. Look out for each other. And we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.